Hello YouTubers. I was in the process of making a video about how war with China is inevitable, and then this happened. China is claiming that it expelled the USS Berry, an American warship, out of the South China Sea. I want to be clear that China is claiming that because the United States is presenting a bit different narrative. Isn't it interesting how this is barely being reported? I mean, think about it. China is claiming that it scrambled its jets to expel a US destroyer. Coronavirus or not, that's pretty important news. With China taking a lot of heat from the coronavirus, don't you think that that would make this provocation an even bigger story? Whether true or not, it's a serious provocation anyway. At this point, I don't know what to believe. It's not like the Chinese government is honest, and neither is the current US government. But looking at the reaction to this, my best guess is that China's claim is technically true, but that they are highly exaggerating the situation. That is, they're being hyperbolic. They're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. The United States isn't as much denying the statement as much as it is presenting a different narrative. Well, leave it to the channel that's labeled a Russian propaganda network to cover the story. Rick Sanchez does a really good job of providing the proper context of the conflict. And again, that's true regardless of whether China's claim is true or not. Anyway, here's a clip. I provided a link to the whole video in the description box, and I highly recommend you watch it. Because even if China's claim is not true, they would engage in this provocation shows just how seriously relations have deteriorated.
Maybe the real question here is this. What is it suddenly about the South China Sea that makes it so coveted? It contains 11 billion barrels of oil, they have found. 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. 10% of all the world's fisheries reside right here. 30% of the world's shipping trade flows through these corridors. 30%. So this is why everyone wants it. And China is doing everything it can to hold on to it. So what exactly is China doing? You know the expression, you've heard this before, right? Possession is 9/10 of the law. Well, China's putting that to practice. It's literally taking possession of these islands, and some that aren't even islands. They're just shoals, but they're turning them into islands and they're building them up. I've got an example for you. I'm going to give you an example of one of the satellite images that we're going to show you here. You see that right there? That is a runway. And what's funny about this is this used to be just a shoal, rock. Some of it was underwater, but they've built it up. I mean, this is what a remote island now looks like. And what they do is they use the fleets of the ships to go out. They dredge the ocean floor. They take out the sand. They take out the rock to make these islands bigger and higher. And then they built these runways and commercial and military establishments and buildings. The argument that they're using is, look, now we live here. We own it. And everything within 200 miles of it by maritime law. So the U.S. is accusing China, by doing this kind of stuff, of what it calls a revisionist argument. And it says that it's going to continue to deploy its Navy, the U.S. Navy, into these waters for the protection of its allies. China, meanwhile, is intensifying its threats to defend itself if the U.S. continues to send warships there. Neither side wants a hot war, obviously. Who does, right? But the sparring, as we're going to explain to you in a minute, is continually getting hotter. This is
So what do you think? Will the South China Sea conflict get much worse? Be sure to comment below. If you like this video, please show your support by subscribing. Thanks for your time.